Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to All Suck At Starcraft. My name is Killjoy, and today I'm bringing you possibly the best game that we played during our time here. At the top here, Mr. Mark Kitchen, and over on the right, myself. Now let's just pause it before we go any further. Let's look at just how close me and Mark spawned. Now this map was quite surprising, we'd never played on it before. I didn't expect him to be there, he didn't expect me to be where I am, and you're going to see that right now coming up. So, let's just speed it up to start with. Standard sort of openings from both of us this game. You're going to see how trying to scout, trying to find each other, and the hilarity that ensues from there. But this is by far... Oh, slow it down. Oh no, it's going for the barracks. By far my favourite game that we played. Barracks going down, Mark whacking his down shortly after, so not too far behind there, as you can see. And this map is fairly big, but you don't really see most of it for the entire game. Also, whacking down a supply depot. Oh, that's me doing that. Yeah, looking to build gas and supply depot, getting this all the stuff at the same time. Alright. Now, this little guy decided to go and scout. And this is the route that he took from my base up here, straight past, just slow it down, back to normal speed, past Mark's base. If I just turn Mark's sight off for a minute, this is what I can see currently. This is all I know about. Just sending off a Marine as well to go and help scout. I kind of expected him to be in one of the there. Wasn't to be, which was kind of interesting. And during this time, Mark just pumping out a couple of Marines, just getting SCVs. Only got one guy in gas currently, one supply. I'm spending most of my time just trying to scout, just getting a few extra Marines. You know, really looking for him to have some kind of idea where he is. So. And I pretty much looked around the majority of this map where I thought he would have been. There's some minerals, there's been guys there, so there's some minerals here. When I couldn't find him here, or eventually here, I was very confused. So, during which period, just still getting Marines, not doing a huge amount there. Myself also just pumping out Marines. Again, not doing a huge amount. Still just trying to scout for him. Looking about everywhere, as you can tell, very confused. But, oh, Mark sending a little Marine out, going for a little waddle there. Flying a lot of minerals, both of us actually. Oh, there we go. By this point, I should have been building another barracks, which I think is what happens right about now. Yep, so there goes another barracks is coming down, which I believe Mark also goes to do fairly shortly. Because at this point, I'm like, well, I haven't found him. Where could he possibly be? I best build up an army, or start building more barracks or something. Because if he doesn't turn up anytime soon, then I'll be a little bit worried. You can see, still looking. Realising he's definitely not down there. It's a bunch of Marines. Thinking he was going to move out at this point, but he didn't. He just put them there. Found some more minerals. I was like, more level to explore. You see that Mark is now building his Terran Academy. He's got a couple more supply depots. I've got just about to finish up my second barracks. Whacking down another supply depot as well. It's quite a slow start to this game because I had no idea where he was. I couldn't be aggressive. I just wanted to make sure I had some kind of army to defend with. And now I think is where we see the final point where I go, oh, hello! I think my SCV finds him. Yeah. My Marine sort of stays there. SCV. Turn that off. Oh look, Marines. Oh look. There's Mark's base. That's really bad. So I've got I get my Marines here and I go to push to attack. Because I'm like, okay, at this point, I might as well just try and do some harass. He's got pretty much the same amount of Marines. He has actually got the same amount. I'm now getting his second barracks down. During which point I'm hopefully, well, currently not building anything. About to finish up my third barracks and another supply. Anyway, I go into the base and completely butchered this attack. Now what I should have done was run these guys along and either try to destroy this guy or get here and hit these SCVs out. Instead, all I do here is essentially get them killed. And you see, I kill off a few of his Marines, but he's got defender's advantage. These are going to pop out straight away. Really bad attack on my half. Should have probably just tried to take this out. That would have been a better idea, try and stop him from getting the upgrades. I was trying to push in here. Or possibly gone that way around, but I wasn't entirely sure on his base. Now look, so this is the army he's got currently versus me, who's got very little army. I've got a few Marines. If Mark had then attacked then, that would have been quite difficult. Now I don't think he knows where I am at this point. Oh, he's got a medic. But you see that I just keep pushing into his base and trying to attack, and I'm getting stim now, I believe. Oh no, I'm not. Mark's getting stim. So this is one of the few times I've actually seen him build that, so that's kind of cool. Getting now the comsat center, trying to find out where I am. I'm just pumping out Marines from all of these places. I realise I just need to like attack. Biggest mistake I should have gone for either a factory earlier in this game or a engineering bay earlier. As you're going to see, Mark now building down a factory, which is the smart thing to do. Basically, he's ahead of the game when he gets that out. And he's got a good army. He's got a medic in there. He's still pumping out Marines. He's just scanned there to see if he can find me. I'm not there. I go to attack again. This time with a few more Marines. I don't have stim. He's got range, which is, you know, this isn't a bad attack, but it's a lot of Marines there. And my guys are moving and firing, and I don't have +1. Yeah, it's a bad attack. But I don't give up on that. I'm still determined to attack him. I did kill a few of his dudes, but not as many as I want. I mean, look at the supply difference in terms of army. I have nothing. If he knew where I was at any point, he could have won then. He could have won. Like, I can't do anything against him right now. Plus, he's got a medic. So I'm just like, right, I just need... Oh, yeah, and I decided to switch to fire bats. Because I realised that fire bats can hit multiple units. They have a fairly powerful attack, and they already start with 1 armor, unlike the Marines. I've got gas, so I'm like, alright, might as well get some. Pump out Marines from this one. Now getting the range upgrade. Getting 2 Marines at a time. We're seeing that the Terran machine shop's coming down for the factory for Mark, and he's now building a engineering bay for those upgrades. Still only on 2 barracks. So this is the weird thing, is he's only on 2 barracks for a fairly long time. But just churning out units, just churning and churning and churning. You can see that he's floating a lot more money than I am. I'm just constantly clicking and building dudes at this point because I realise I need to like do some severe damage. But this is a fairly hard thing to deal with. That's why I was going for fire bats, and this is why I go for stim eventually, because I realise I need something like stim to do it. Now building a starport and also getting the +1 upgrade for the bio and the little dudes, so the Marines and things. Whacking down a couple of supply depots. Doesn't go for any of the medic upgrades. I don't think anyone really does, apart from the extra energy. This guy, I think he's trapped, so he's not doing anything. Anyway, you'll see that I'm still just Marines, fire bats. Probably going for medics would have been better, but definitely getting stim. Now getting stim, we see Mark's now getting siege. Yeah, I think eventually he does figure out where I am, which is what makes this way more interesting, but as you can see, just army. Building more Marines, fire bats. You'll see that I split my army up in a minute, and I send the fire bats up and the Marines down, which, luckily for me, the timing on that wasn't terrible. So, I don't think Mark actually ever uses this starport. It's cool that he gets it, but I don't think he ever uses it. Not building a tank yet, but now has the upgrade for siege. Building some missile turrets, which is an interesting choice, but then I suppose detections. And considering the last game, I got that many wraiths, I'm not surprised. So here we go. This is where I split up my army a little bit. And you're going to see during said time what's going to happen. There go part of it. Go down here, and we're going to see a double-pronged attack, which I can't remember how well this goes. I think it does alright, but it doesn't do as much damage as it could have done. I attacked some stuff here. Did you just scan me? Not sure. But we'll see that now I have stim. These guys come up and take out the tank. Take out that, take out the science facility that he's building. Then run in with these guys. Fire bats going in, kill off 1 dude. Kill off a few of the Marines. Stimmed in. Murdered most of this army, which did alright. During down here, we had a firefight and killed most of the stuff. We just pause and come back a little bit. Just rewind that replay a little bit. Whoop. So you saw what happened. These guys obviously come up and take out a good chunk of his army, pretty much all this stuff. And then you're going to see, speed up again, these guys coming down here and what happens to them after fighting with the tank. So, slow down. Right, skimmed in. Kill off him. Kill the SCV. Wildlife Science Facility. Don't know why he's shooting that. So here he comes, sends these guys over. He has got medics obviously, so this makes this fight way harder. I managed to kill a few of the dudes off. Not as many as I would have liked to, but kill off this and all this stuff, and then probably should have just run in and killed his SCVs, but instead just decided to attack his barracks, which was a mistake. And these guys are pretty weak at this point from the stim. I don't have medics, which is a really dumb thing. Sending a few more guys. And it wasn't a terrible attack. Oh, he's stim there. Wasn't a terrible attack, wasn't the best thing in the world, but I did destroy a science facility, which meant that he can't upgrade any more than his standard. Now he gets +1. I haven't even got +1 yet. I think this guy's going off to expand because I realise I need more stuff. Now just pumping out the units again. And really at this point I should have had a factory and I should have had a couple more barracks. Like, scan there and have a look. The biggest problem I had was I wasn't building enough production facility. Because like that was a good combat engagement. But it didn't really do enough. I did murder most of his army, but he's still got a bigger army than I have. Again, I don't know if he knows where I am at this point. If he knew where I was, he could have easily killed me. But yeah, decided to expand because I realised I need more money coming in. And we're going to see that. We've got an engineering bay finally coming down. And there's still just 5 marine, double marine production. Mark rebuilding his science facility. And getting a few tanks and setting that up. So I'm just going to speed it up again because nothing really happens now apart from another attack. It will happen in a moment. Probably a suicide attack for me because I'm still building firebats because I want them to just go in there and wreck, and they do alright the first time I used them. And I also don't attack straight into his dudes, so you'll see again I'll go down and up. This is now done. That's broken. That should actually be further down. See, this attack's going to come up. I think I managed to kill this tank off. Or I'm about to get shot by it, I'm not sure which. Ooh, how did I survive that? Just running, kill off the tanks. Start to take out SCV. And basically decided to leg it. Which was interesting. Oh, I think it's because I was going to do another attack from here. So stim in, take out this tank, another tank, and then, unfortunately, most of these guys died again. You can see there's a lot of Marines, and firebats don't have a huge range. These guys died in that pursuing battle as well, fighting off these guys, unfortunately. But continuing with the double-pronged attacks. Almost getting my upgrade for there. Now building a machine shop. Because at this point I realise I need tanks. I need something to actually deal with his army. And right now I'm doing it. He's now getting the upgrade for his vehicles. Still just rebuilding things. I haven't really touched this supply line. So this is completely untouched for both of us actually. So we've not done that. Now building up Vespine, trying to get that, getting more tools out. Look what he's getting infantry armor upgrade. We've got Goliaths popping out, another tank, building a bunch of stuff. I'm now getting the research for that. And he's also expanding up here, which I managed to miss the most of this game, that he actually expanded up to the right of his base, which was annoying, but didn't really faze me. It was still like, okay. So really at this moment, Mark has been in a superior spot this entire game. And like, I think by the end of it he realised where I was, but at any point if he knew where I was and just attacked me, I would have lost. because my attacks were very inefficient, and he was ahead of the game in terms of upgrades for a lot of it. You know, I've now got +1 almost, as you can see. I'm now getting siege. Yeah, tanks earlier than I did. If he'd seized them up more, then he would have been alright. Building a physics lab on there so we can get more upgrades. He's now getting second one. Oh yeah, weapon upgrade level 2. He's got 1-1. I've got +1. So here we go. This is the really the turning point in the match, but also the part where I needed to like set up a line of tanks to essentially be able to attack him and deal with what his stuff. I gave up, I think, building fire bats. Oh no, I'm still building fire bats at this point. Because how useful they are, and especially with the +1, I do 16 + 2. Yeah, so they do 18 damage a shot. Rings now do 7. Those medics are also upgraded, so they're, you know, he's now mining off this base. I'm mining off this base. So a fairly even spot. I would say he's still ahead of where I am. I'm now setting up these tanks. He's got a decent amount of dudes around his base. You know, he's in a good place. Building a second barracks factory as well. I think the only thing he probably should have done was gone for more barracks, like I should have. But anyway, 2 tanks set up now, and now getting the armor upgrade for that. Still pumping out the dudes, and you're going to see what is, you know, a fairly good fight, and it's what makes this game interesting. So, because to me, up to this point, I've been whacking him and whacking him and whacking him, but I felt like I wasn't doing much. So, stim in, without accident, without attack moving, which get me killed. A lot of my stuff killed. But it also meant these guys were in range of my tanks. So, this was a case of getting to just basically in range of the tanks and just shell the crap out of them. You'll see this as well. Still losing a lot of stuff. Like, I wouldn't say I was having particularly good engagements throughout the entirety of this, but still just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to kill all the things. Oh, that one's shot. And now just popping off his stuff. 3 tanks. Bang. And most of his army still has army, but a good chunk of it died. You know, I lost a big army in that, but these tanks made a huge difference. You know, they're doing 70 damage a shot. Decided that I need to keep these things alive, so I'm repairing it. Now just rebuilding my army. Giving up on fire bats now. Almost at the second upgrade. We see that he's getting infantry weapons, possibly 3 at this point. No, almost 2. So he's almost at a point where his dudes are like super powerful. Just scanning to see what else he's got there. Not building a huge amount though. He's still just building like medics, or a medic at a time. Don't know what his money front's like. Should have fairly good income though. Getting another engineering bay. Getting turret and armor upgrades. I'm getting ship upgrades. Oh yes! I forgot about this. He started building battle cruisers. Now this was an interesting thing, and I was not expecting battle cruisers to pop out at all. So that was a shock when they appeared. But because I'd switched back to just Marines and they had +1, it made a bit of a difference. Now you're going to see me push up now, because I feel fairly safe because I have 4 tanks. Also getting upgraded, but bear in mind I don't have a huge amount to deal with air. Just sort of run in there. And then get his Goliath to basically come over and get shot. Stop him from building that. Bye bye. And then his army comes down and led him straight into my trap. And murdered most of his army. There's still not a huge amount of Marines. I'm still pumping them out, but not a huge amount of them. Just trying to use them to scout for the destroy my tanks. Just trying to use them to scout for the tanks, so the tanks can shoot and stuff. So I think at this point he realises where I am. He knows where I am now because those tanks are fairly well set up. Then a battlecruiser pops out, and I'm like, okay, I haven't seen this yet, but that's not good. But he makes the mistake here with the battlecruiser because I see it and I'm like, oh dear. But he decides to run away, and I think if he just carried on attacking, he might still have lost it, but he would have murdered pretty much all of these Marines. Still trying to track it down, get these guys killed accidentally. Then bring up the rest of the tanks. Getting almost ship vehicle +1 as well, which is useful. It's just sat there. We know that another one's going to pop out. I think going for battlecruiser wasn't a terrible idea, but I think what Mark should have done was build more tanks, perhaps, or more Goliaths. Because he had a fairly, well, sort of most of that game, he had a really good army. I think switching to battlecruisers used up pretty much all his money. Look, these guys just sat around doing nothing. And if we'd gone for more vehicle-based upgrades and gone for more vehicles, because he has double factory, even if he just went for vultures, I think that would have been a better idea. This guy decides to turn up, I'm like, oh Christ. It's time to leave. So I stim these guys here and I need to finish this battlecruiser off just before it gets any upgrades. There he goes. Bring the tanks back in. He's got another battlecruiser there. He's got this siege tank which he should have moved. Bang, there goes that. Another battlecruiser turns up, I'm like, oh god, not another one. And I built a vulture for some reason. Not sure why that happened. Still didn't know about this, I don't think. No, that was so well hidden. The entire game was just, there's an extra base there. Mine's pretty much just mining away there. Now I just started to wreck his building. He doesn't have a lot there, he's still got the siege tank. Just taking out a lot of his SCVs. Just trying to get rid of like all of his extra add-ons. Just get rid of those. Take out his main base, and that's me just attacking him there. And then I soon discover there's a tank here. This is annoying. I'm like, oh, goddamn tank. And this guy's like, oh look, it's a tank. For some reason, sent an SCV in to attack that. These are now 1-1. I believe his stuff is now it's 1 armor. I might have to stop that, but this is pretty much it. You see me basically wreck most of his base at this point. So he does try to do some sneaky stuff. Well, that might be a different game, but just taking out his supply. Still just mining away up here. Very secretly. There he goes. Goes off to build an extra base. I'm like, what are you doing? There's some dudes from my base that have just gone down there, because I've got loads of guys here. And I know this tank's here, I just haven't destroyed it. Just keep firing away. I think these have now got +1, yeah. +1, +1. Just speed it up a little bit. Just run in and kill that. And just finish off his last, what I think is his base. Before he decides to go and hide a base over there. Which is obviously frustrating, but I'm like, oh, why hasn't everything died? So I'm just scouting around trying to find where he might be. And again, I still don't think I've seen him at this point. I think I see him now. There we go. I realise he's got a base there. Send all my dudes in. Especially try and kill off all the SCVs so he can't run away and build more buildings. Get rid of the command centre. Oh, that's a lot of kills. There's also a lot of Marines at this point. So I think I stopped building. These guys, this is really bad. These guys should not have just been sat here. Stop getting the upgrades. But then again, at this point I thought it pretty much won. Just destroying off some of the last few buildings. That's where he gets his goddamn extra base. There's my SCVs, come to help out. As they do. So I destroy this. Just speed it up a second. I destroy this and he's discover that he's still not dead, so I have to end up scanning him. Which is what I do. You'll see in a sec. Well, I know there's a base there. I'm like, oh, not there then. I'm building a base there. I'm like, oh, there he is. And he's building a couple barracks to try and get back in this game. He's got a fair bit of money and gas stocked up, but I'm like, no, 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 no. What's this? Let's kill off his SCVs. And that was it. And that was an incredibly fun game that we played. You know, watching the replay back, you can see what a difference it makes when if he knew where I was and how much he could have easily won. A lot of poor attacks on my half, a lot of just poor play on my half in general. You know, I could have done things better by getting more barracks. I had the money to build a couple more barracks so I could put more units. Mark probably shouldn't have gone battlecruiser. It was a cool idea, but I think if he'd gone for more tanks or Goliaths or vultures, a lot more factory tech, and not tried to go for air at that point. I think he would have done a lot better, just purely on the basis that if he had a lot more tanks plonked around the base, you know, they've got, even if they only get one shot off, you know, that's a bit of splash damage. They kill Marines and infantry fairly easy. You know, I've got to put my tanks into a position to fire back, and if they're unsieged and he's sieging me, you know, they can do a lot of damage. So I think overall it was a really, really fun game. We both didn't play optimally, but we had a good laugh playing that one, and I'm really happy that that's probably the best match we'll ever play. So that's it from today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you then.